they were talking about Marius, and like they were saying that he says that they're not free, like that God said that they're not free, but author like reminds them that they're free from birth, and Marius keeps like manipulating them and telling them like he's like using religion to overpower them, and he's using it wrong. So I think the author thinks it's unjust from like what he says in the text.
Also in the text, in 128, it said Marius is like insisting that everything he says everything we have is here in this land was given to us by the Pope of Rome. Lancelot was just like, well, then you're going to get taken over by the Saxons. There's nothing you can do about it, so suck it up and come help us.
I also think it's unjust because when Bishop comes, to the round table, he gets really mad to see it's just like there's no higher seat, it's all equal, and he doesn't like that. But King Arthur thinks everybody has the right to voice their part and be equal. Doesn't mean one is better than another. Just because he's the commander, he takes over power. Like Marius in the movie, he shows like he wasn't satisfied. The people didn't answer him, so they were punished because he thought he was speaking for God. So they're saying like, I'm the man of God, so I get to decide what is your life. And King Arthur didn't think that was fair. So, yeah.
And it's also unjust because the Sarmatian knights were they served the Romans for 15 years, and they still made them go get Marius and Alecto, even though their time was up. And like Dagonet, he ended up dying, and he ended up not being able to be free just to save them. So that's really unjust.
I think it's also an unjust society because of the way that the people who are like in the head of the society, they're Christians, and they look down on the pagans, and they just think of them as so much beneath them, and they think that they're wrong, and that they're stupid, and that there's like something wrong with them because of the religion that they practice, and that's like not something a just society has.
It's also like an unjust society because like a lot of higher up people, like in the Christians, they look down, and because of they believe that they are like people of God, no one else gets a say because they're just beneath them. They're not. Just a lot of people don't like have a say in what they can and cannot do. It's all like decided for them, and they can't do anything about that.
And after they got Alecto and Marius from like the British area, and they brought them back to Rome, they left like all the rest of the people to die, but it took Arthur to like stand up and fight the Saxons and his other men didn't have to like go with him and fight, but they ended up fighting, and they joined with like the Woads, and they ended up defeating the Saxons. But like it's so unjust because the Romans just left them out to die, and if Arthur and his knights hadn't done anything, then the Saxons would have taken over.
Does the author seem to favor certain groups within the text? How are the rich and poor depicted? Does the author question the way society is organized? Or does he or she seem satisfied with the status quo? How do you know?
I don't think the author is satisfied with the status quo because, like, the way King Arthur speaks, like, when he sees them, the poor are outside of the gate where the Lothes and Saxons can attack, but the rich, or Marius and them, they're all inside. And in the text, it also says that on 126, that the main house was built of stone and timber in Roman style, and it was spacious enough for 5 large families to coexist comfortably. But like all his people that he's dominating, that Marius was dominating over, they were all outside and they could have died at like any moment.
I think that the author didn't favor any groups because he made King Arthur really emphasize how everybody's equal with like the round table, and then pointing out to Marius how like the poor are in danger and how he should try to protect them and stuff. So yeah, and like the rich are depicted as kind of like they view themselves as a better person than the people who have less money.
They viewed themselves as better people, and then also they make themselves better than other people. They make the peasants work in the fields and then send all their food overseas. So the poor can't, they're always in trouble, and King Arthur wants there to be equality. But like you said, the author doesn't favor a group, but he just kind of makes each group seem, I don't know,
In a way important.
yeah, like the rulers are too important, and anyone that's poor needs help.
I think that's why the author doesn't go with the status quo, because if he did, he wouldn't. He points out that Arthur cares for the poor, and he points out that there's an issue within their society, and I think that if he wanted to go with the status quo, he wouldn't say anything about it, but he makes Arthur go against the rest of society to point out a problem that's in their society.
Does the author question the way society organized? I think he does, because even though he's Christian and Marius thinks like Arthur should follow the Christian way just because he's a Christian. I don't think King Arthur goes with the religion part where he's like, oh, because I'm Christian, I'll follow Marius because he's also Christian. I'll go with what he does. But he's saying, wait, this is wrong. This is not how my God does it, and this is not how what I believe in. And he gets really mad when he sees the elderly guy hanging chained up outside. Because he dissatisfied Marius for going against him, and the people who work, he just thinks is not right. Just because they're not Christian and they don't believe in the same religion, they shouldn't have the same rights as them. So King Arthur's he wasn't happy because his religions were doing something that was inhuman to the other people, even though they were also. I don't know.
I don't think he's satisfied totally with the status quo because he, in the end of the movie, he joins together with the Woes, who he's been fighting with his men for years, and the only way to defeat the Saxons were to band together with them, band together with the Woes, and he kind of realized the Romans aren't going to come and help him.
Number 2, does the author seem to have a vision of a better society? Does he or she offer solutions to the problems of the society? Does he or she even pay attention to the problems of society? I think the author does have a better vision of society, because that's why King Arthur points out so many flaws during the movie, and he offers solutions to King Marius. I was like, hey, protect the poor instead of just screwing him over by leaving him out there. And he does pay attention because King Arthur points him out.
Yeah, King Arthur also does things where Lacto sees what he's doing. He's going against all the bishop, what he's ordered to do. Even though you're not supposed to like take the whole talk back to the Marius or go against him, he's showing Lacto like what he sees or what he's going to do is not the right thing, or what he's being taught by his parents is not the right thing. Just because there's pagans, that doesn't mean they're less have the less freedom than he does. So he's showing in ways he acts rebellious to show like there's a better future for everybody, not just the Christians. And I think Lacto learns from the King Arthur and his knights that you can change the future by doing something different than you've been seeing or witnessing.
You know, like throughout the movie, King Arthur is pointing out all the flaws of society and trying to fix certain problems one by one. And in the end, he does unite the roads with the knights and are able to succeed in winning. But he does try to make a better vision of society over time.
I just don't think he really offered solutions. I think he paid attention to the problems, but by like being unsettled by how the poor were treated. But I don't think he offered concrete solutions to the problems.
He definitely paid attention to like the problems of the society, but like you said, like I don't feel like he gave like a step-by-step thing, like, all right, you need to fix this by doing this.
Yeah.
But he definitely did pay attention to compared to all the other people, like what the real problems in society were.
I know this isn't like one of the questions that we have written down, but like, just from like reading this, and we've decided, we've all like pretty much decided that the society is unjust and that Arthur points that out. Like, what do you think like the readers get from that idea that like that they see Arthur pointing out? Like, what's something that like why should we be reading this like in lit class? Do you guys think?
Well, I guess Arthur is kind of like, he has this viewpoint on life that Mr. Brew is also trying to get to us, how he can help other people a lot, he can change things, and we don't,
Just pointing out the problems and trying to improve society.
Yeah, even if it's just a small thing, even like if you do one part differently than the rest of it, people sees you differently. They might go against you in the beginning, but then they start to see your point of view and they also try to follow, and in the end, slowly start to change. And anyway, you can change the world. You just need to have the courage to step to do a different
Even
thing.
Arthur's like friends that he'd been with for 15 years, like after they gave him freedom, they didn't want to unite with the Woes and fight. They just wanted to leave, but Arthur like stuck to his guns, and like they ended up coming with him and they fought and they defeated the Saxons. So I mean, even if you're like against all odds, if you like stick to your beliefs and try to help, I mean, hopefully it'll turn out great.
Even if there are like some sacrifices. I mean, Lancelot and Tristan didn't survive, but they saw something in Arthur, and because of their sacrifices, they helped the Woads and Arthur and their men, their brothers, defeat the Saxons and potentially like have that turn into like something greater, like something like a
Right.
different society where
Yeah, where like when the knights were getting ready to get their thing, the paper showing that they had done the 15 years service to Rome, And when the bishop tells King Arthur that they're not free yet unless they finish one mission,